I heard that at the end of that, though, after you'd all done that run, everyone was like dying, and Dimes has come out and gone, right, which one are you smart on the fact now? Until the Academy boys, and you went, yeah, I'll take one, Dimes. and lit up a durry.
I was puffing away. He didn't know what to say.
Yeah, like ruined it. It's so good. Oh, man. You got to be yourself, though. You got to be yourself. He would have been saying that as well. Be yourself, mate. Be yourself. So you can't go against it.
Dwayne Peel and Mark Crater, when I lit that fag, they were like, is he effing real?
This week's Offload is brought to you in partnership with Irwin Mitchell, the official legal partner of England Rugby. The Irwin Mitchell Mentoring Club is developing a community of mentors to help young players navigate life's ups and downs through rugby. They're creating positive experiences for 35,000 teenagers, giving them the opportunity to develop both personally and within the game we all love. That's the human touch that matters to legal experts, Irwin Mitchell. If you could help inspire the next generation, search for the Irwin Mitchell Mentoring Club on Facebook to join them. Hello and welcome to this week's RugbyPass Offload with me, Marc Edwards, joined as always by the effortlessly effervescent danger duo of Glasgow Warriors and Scotland forward Ryan Wilson and Bristol Bears prop Max Lahiff. We've also got a delightful smorgasbord of guests joining us later on the show. Former Wales and Lions star and golf buggy aficionado Andy Powell will be coming on, as well as someone Ryan mentions every week, the one, and as far as we can tell, the only Brocolli Man. But before all of that, how are we doing, boys?
I'm all good. I'm absolutely buzzing. Who cares about Andy Powell? We got Brocolli Man this week. Absolutely buzzing. Fresh face. Look at me. If you're asking why, Halloween social at the weekend. Check out the Addams Family.
Oh, that's very good.
Yeah, you like that? You like that?
Yes, that's class.
Yeah, had the baby involved a lot. Like, you know, look at that porno tash. Do you like that, Max?
Ooh. I'm a big fan of a good tash. You'd suit a tash, but I don't think you've got. Have you got the facial follicles to pull that off? Not no, that dense.
That's real. Max, you having a laugh? That's my real tash. I've just blacked it in.
Oh, fair. No, I don't. Is it actually?
Swear down.
And you just blacked it in?
Just a little bit of mascara or whatever it was. I don't know what the missus put on it. But yeah, that is my own tash. And the problem is, I came into rugby yesterday, completely forgot I had it on the top lip. And people were like, pervert, get out of here. But I had to take it off. So yeah, good weekend for me. We had a good social. And you didn't have any rugby at the weekend, did you, Maxie boy?
No, I had a very, very lovely laconic week, actually. It was quite delightful. Pipe and slippers all round for me. Yeah, it was very good.
Oh yeah.
Little bit of tin lifting, but other than that, I was just sort of catching up with the fam, you know, watching a bit of Code.
I did spot that on Instagram. You back in your jean shorts, giving it to the ladies.
Shorts, yeah, back there. Oh, very tasty. Bit of deads. Yeah, lovely.
Yeah, not quite what I do on my week off, I'll be honest, mate. But listen, the topless with the jean shorts, it does it for me. So I'll keep watching.
Oh, growly.
Boys, let's crack on. Ryan, sadly, your 3-match winning streak ended with a 15-31 loss to Leinster. How tough a game was it?
Yeah, it was tough. They're a good team. Max, you ever played them? You played against Leinster before?
Not recently. I used to play them a few times at Bath. Yeah, they're always good, though.
Just persistent. And they're good at what they do. Like, even like things when they go down there, 14 men, they got yellow card, they slow the game down. Hey, listen, they're the champions of the league for a reason, and they're sort of the benchmark, I suppose, and we come up short, but we'll be all right. We've got a bit of time off now. Obviously, the autumn test's coming up, so we've got a little bit of time before we go again. So in this week, and then hopefully a week off next week, Dubai, sunning myself, if someone at the passport office sorts Frank's passport out.
From your opinion, are they head and shoulders above any of the other teams in the RSC at the moment?
I wouldn't say head and shoulders, no. I think, they're beatable. I mean, our last game of the season, we turned them over here and we did a pretty good job against them. But there's a good mixture. Like there was a few shock results in our league this week as well, with like teams like Munster losing and stuff. So they're always there to be rolled. But like I said, they're probably the benchmark. They are bloody good at what they do. And they just do it consistently well. But yeah, I wouldn't go that far. I'm not going to blow smoke up their arse, because I don't like them.
Yeah, any social or anything afterwards is a bit weird when you've lost.
Well, no, we didn't have a social because obviously we haven't got a game this week. So we then had our family social, the Halloween social, a week before Halloween, because obviously a lot of the boys would be away. So it was a bit odd getting dressed up as the Adams family and walking out the front of my house and the neighbours looking over. I told them I was going to a funeral. we're all in black attire with the moustache and everything, the tuxedo on, the missus with the black wig on. So yeah, they were for a few weird looks our way. A couple of boys, because I mean everyone makes a serious effort for these. Like if you go and have a little look online, like George Horn dressed up as Voldemort, and it was incredible. Like some of the kids were very scared. Yeah, like the boys go all out. I mean it. So it was good fun. One of the boys, SpongeBob SquarePants and Patrick, and he had to get the bus to the social. And he said, so a week before Halloween, people thought it was pretty weird riding the bus as Patrick coming along through Glasgow. So it's when all the wives and the kids go home, like as it gets a bit later, and the boys then head on to like nightclubs dressed in fancy dress a week before Halloween. It feels a bit weird. Doesn't go down that well.
Surely you weren't allowed in anywhere with looking like you should be luring kids into a van with that tash.
Yeah, mate. People were like, you James Bond? I was like, you joking? Does he have a tash like this? Because obviously I lost the rest of my crew. And there I am with this horrible, dirty little porno tash stuck to me. So, yeah, I was glad to get rid of that. I do look younger, though, don't I? I don't look in the mirror much. God, look at me. Have you got Halloween social this week?
No, we've got a social coming up, but not a Halloween one. I wish it was a Halloween one because then you could get more funky with the costumes. We've got like eras of like time, so like 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it should be get funky. I've got the 40s, I think. But I was like, I couldn't really think of the 40s, but I'm gonna have to get on Pinterest and see some 40s fashion. I wanted 90s.
Like I did.
Mate, go World War hard, like something ridiculous. Oh,
yeah, I could go. Actually, you're right. I could just go full World War. You're right. Yeah. That could be good crack. Probably not Prince Harry crack, but yeah, that'd be good.
Listen, whatever you're dressing as, I know you ain't wearing a top.
I don't always do that. Like
Have I seen you dressed as Bane before?
No, I wish I'd got to do Bane. I'd love to do Bane. That would be one of my all-time dreams. Like, so you think that this is your ally?
I must have just seen it in my dreams, I think.
Yeah, no, I'd love to do that one. That would be a dream role.
Yeah. We've been talking about how impressed we've been by Saracens of late. 18 tries in their last 2 games. Max Malins scoring 4 tries and then backing up his hat-trick last week. That's 3 hat-tricks in his last 5 games. You know him intimately from his time at Bristol last season. Yeah. Is he the best running back in the world right now?
He's definitely the most sort of mercurial in terms of like he can play literally every position in the back line at like probably a world sort of international level. He's an absolute class act, like full baller. I think it just comes to him so naturally as well. Like he's quite, I wouldn't say he like studied the game hard or something. He's just got this wonderful sort of nuanced feel for it, like naturally. Like he's not like, because when you look at him, he's not like a freakish specimen of fast twitch muscle or anything. He's just like so gifted. He just gets space, gives himself time on the ball, really lovely hands. He's just, he's the consummate sort of baller. He's just full baller, mate. Class player, mysterious bloke, very private. Doesn't like the camera much either. Not one for attention, but very, very, very good chap. Yeah, lovely guy. Heart of gold.
Boys, let's move on to money and the Rugby Top 10 Rich List, which came out this week. Obviously, it was a bit weird to not see you guys on there.
Mark, that's not funny. That's
I don't know why. I just laughed. It was just because you went guilty. Okay, no, let's start. That's so harsh.
No. We'll put that in.
That's okay.
It's fine.
Okay, but let's talk about your great mate, Finn Russell. He's the highest earner in the UK with a cheeky 850k a year. Have you noticed any changes in his purchasing power lately?
What do you mean in the UK? Like in terms of in the UK, like in nations?
No, he's not actually. He's not. He's of the British players. No, he's not.
Right.
Yes. Sorry, he is. Sorry, he's in €1 million a year. But Max has got somebody who earns a bit more at his club. But let's talk about.
And well, do you know what? He's not changed. He was always like that. He always was buying ridiculous clothes and like t-shirts for like £400 and a pair of like perfectly normal Birkenstocks, right? Nothing wrong with them, go for them. But then he'd have to buy like Valentino Birkenstocks. And you're like, what's the point? What is the point in buying Valentino Birkenstocks compared to the normal ones? Because they got a bit like some writing on it. It is mental, but he's had some funny old purchases. He's a very, do you know what? He's very generous though. That's his biggest problem. On a night out when he gets excited, he is a very generous man. He'll be the one ordering the bottles of Dom Perignon and paying for them. He did come and pick me up the other day in an Aston Martin wearing what is it? A Patek Philippe. And he's like, right, Wills? I was like, mate, this is another level. I was like looking at my house, all 4 kids like banging at the window, rev it, rev it, rev it, like the house looking like a building site. And he's pulling up an Aston Martin with the old Patek Philippe on, like, come on then, let's go. I was just like, oh my God. Don't change. Don't change.
Oh, wow.
Good on him for getting all the drinks in, though.
Yeah, to be fair to him, he is. He's very good at that, and he's always been like that. He's always been that sort of character. He loves it. But I suppose that's the good thing about him is
It's always been like that, yeah.
Yeah, he's always been like that, and he shares it about. He's a good man to be on a night out with. Unless he orders all those bottles of Dom Perignon and then pisses off halfway through, then you're stuck with a bill. That, like, I've had that on a few nights out, not with him, but other players hammering the bill thinking it's like free, and then everyone just disappears. Me and Dave Denton have been left in a club in Rome with a major bill. Me and Dave Denton like being pulled up by the bouncers. Yeah. Oh mate, he's panicking. He's like, Wilson, I've not even brought my wallet. Oh mate.
Who dropped you in it?
Off.
Who dropped you in it?
I can't remember. Everyone. There was all of us there. The whole of the Scotland team were there pretty much. And this bloke was acting as if we were getting free drinks. Like, more vodka. I'm like, oh, this is brilliant. How good's this? And everyone pisses off, and it's just me and Dents left on the dance floor with these bouncers like, right, come in with us. Like, what's going on here? No, you need to pay your bill. What? Hold on a minute. I've only had one drink. So, yeah, he's a good boyfriend. But, hey, the real money's down south, isn't it? With you boys. Holy heck.
Exactly, Max, your teammate, Charles Piatow, is the best paid player in the world with a casual £1 million a year. Is he a flashy guy or not at all?
Not really. Like, he keeps it under the radar. He's got a lovely whip, like a nice Range Rover Sport, but generally speaking, he's quite like, yeah, he's very, very humble bloke. Like, always has immaculate hair though, like completely perfect Clark Kent vibes, just like Tongan Clark Kent, just the whole shebang. But no, not at all showy offy. Like, even with what he wears, generally speaking, nothing would make me think, oh my God, that man's the £1 million rugby boy. Nah, not at all. You'd never know.
You imagine the house he can buy in Tonga though.
Sending that home. Yeah. If he's sending that home, he's building his own villages. Yeah, for sure.
Max, where do you sit between the sort of Flynn Russell cash spend and the sort of low interest yield spend of Charles Piatow?
I'd say I'm an essentialist for the most part. Health is wealth. That's where most of my money would go into, like weird biohackery. You know what I'm talking about? The weird stuff. Yeah. Otherwise, I'm not that extravagant with my money. I keep it rustic.
And you, Ryan, before the kids?
No, mate. I buy weird stuff. See, like if something's 40% off, I'll take it. I'll have it. Like I bought a double-decker bus a few months ago, and my missus was like, "You've bought what?" And I was like, "Double-decker bus." And
elaborate.
This bloke, basically a bloke came to me and was like, "Listen, I got a bus for sale." I was like, "Oh yeah, I like the look of that double-decker bus." And then I like knocked him down on the price, and then he said, "No, I ain't doing it, not for that much." And then about 2 weeks later, he came back. He obviously couldn't shift it. It's a fucking double-decker bus. So he was like, right, have it for what you said. And I was like, sweet. So then my missus was like, and where do you think you're going to park? I was like, on the drive, obviously. So she was like, that bus comes in the house. I'm going to kill you. Although I was over at the bus depot where it's parked last night, sweeping up glass because some little fucker's gone and smashed the window on it. But yeah, I've got a double-decker bus.
What are you going to do with it?
Oh, mate. The ideas are endless. The ideas are endless.
Is this for your whiskey, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, no, it's not. No. Do you know what? It genuinely
whiskey flagship.
It was like, I just bought it just because I was like, I can see the potential in it. And there's loads of ideas. I've got so many ideas. Like people are like, camper van. I was like, exactly, perfect. Camper van. Imagine that. Camper van.
Yeah.
Turning up to a campsite in it.
On those country roads. Oh,
right, kids, how you get? So yeah, got double-decker bus. Like my house. I bought my house without telling my wife. That got me in a lot of trouble.
Mate, what else have you bought like that? Anything else you can compare to the bus? You sound like you have some mad ideas. Give me some more.
I bought, like, obviously, at the beginning of lockdown, I bought 4 chickens just randomly. I was like, one Sunday, I was like, come on, kids, get in the car. And we just went and bought 4 chickens. And again, my wife was like, why have you bought 4 chickens? Like, what's... And then, honestly, they wrecked the garden, like, destroyed it.
Yeah, they do, don't they? They smash it up. Carl Sinclair got some chickens as well. He was like, 3 of the finest hens. He wanted like 16 at the first. I was like, are you much room in for 16 chickens?
Oh, mate, I know. But that's the problem. I just got a normal garden. So, like...
And they just shit everywhere. Foxes want to eat them.
Yeah.
Peck the lawn to pieces. They're they're like little dinosaurs. They're terrifying.
Yeah, so sadly they've gone. One of the academy players went back to Yorkshire and he took 2 of them with him. 2 survived, 2 died.
Why did he take them?
Because my missus was like, you've got to get rid of the chickens.
You got rid of the chickens.
I had a punch bag after I finished the build. I had a punch bag, a fridge freezer, and 2 chickens. And this boy, Charlie Caps, was like, well, so I'll have it. So he just came up the house in his Rover, loaded it up, 1 freezer, a punch bag, and 2 chickens, and off he went back to Yorkshire.
Man, that's what.
Never saw him again.
How many eggs did you get out of the 3 chickens though? Was it like one a day?
I was getting not far off 2 a day for some reason. I reckon someone was putting them in there because they were like, no, you should only get 1 a day. But they were just firing them out. Unbelievable. Like, obviously there was a drought at the beginning because I bought them too young. Again, my wife was like, oh, well done. You bought chickens that don't lay eggs. But you have to wait for them to get to a certain age and all this. And I trained them with golf balls. They were my pride and joy.
You trained them with golf balls.
Genuine. You have to put golf balls in there, and then they think that they're eggs, and they sit on them, and then they lay eggs on top. Listen,
that's fascinating.
Hey,
that
is on. Do you think there's part of your wife, Ryan, that does sort of think, what's he going to bring home today? Like, I'm a little bit excited because I'm sure the kids think that the whole time. Like, double-decker bus.
No, she hates it. She absolutely hates it. She's like, please stop. But oh well.
Let's move on to the internationals that were happening, that happened, are happening, and will happen. Japan putting in a great performance on the weekend, almost causing an upset against Australia, just losing out 32-23. Max, how impressed were you by their performance?
Again, not surprised. I think the Japanese right now, I mean, they've been class under Joseph, haven't they? Like, they look legit, like really well drilled. Like, I think they looked a little bit like pedestrian against Lions, but I think, the talent that's coming out of Japan, that top league, now they're getting so much good rugby, so many good rugby players, and that exposure to that kind of caliber of talent. It just shows what it's doing for like the domestic players there. They look so good. Yeah, I thought the game was class as well, but Japan are legit. I think they should be in the championship. I think it would only do them good. I think they've proved it now that they've got that sort of firepower at the international level consistently to do a job.
Is there any reason they wouldn't be? I mean, marketing wise, it's a complete win.
Yeah, it makes sense.
They can play.
Well, I don't know what's holding them back, holding the rugby championship from making that happen. I think it needs to be done ASAP.
Yeah, I can see it happening 100% in the future. Like, you've got to get them in somewhere, and that just seems like a seamless fit for them, doesn't it? I won't talk about how good they are too much after the World Cup.
Yeah, very, very sketchy.
I was at that game. It was pretty intense.
It was intense, but so was the hurricane or whatever it was the night before. Holy hecker, that was some hurricane. I was out in that for a laugh. That didn't help. But yeah, was it a hurricane?
Yeah,
it was. Isn't it typhoons in
typhoon? Sorry,
it's a typhoon in Japan. Yeah,
mate, that was mental, wasn't it?
Yeah, our hotel, they had like big like chandeliers at the top, and you could just see them just going like that, just dancing away, and everyone's just getting absolutely smashed watching, I think, Ireland versus Samoa or something, and then on to
but no, get them in there. Get them in there. It'll keep it interesting, won't it?
The Scottish coming up against a Tonga side in their first autumn international at the weekend. They've lost their 2 matches this year, Tonga, 102-0 and 42-13. Ryan, predictions for the weekend?
Oh, the boys will do it. 100%. The boys will do it. It'll be a different squad to what will go on to play the next 3 games for the autumn tests. They obviously have no exiles involved, so it's a bigger group from Edinburgh and Glasgow predominantly, obviously. So, but I mean, with the way some of the boys have been going here and some of the young guys getting a shot, don't know the team yet, but it's it's one which the boys will be looking forward to. And I think the main thing as well is some of the guys that didn't get that tour, the summer tour, because that got cancelled due to COVID, they'll get an opportunity as well. So I can see the boys doing a pretty good job over there, or over at Murrayfield down the road.
So we're now delighted to welcome on the show one of the loosest men to have ever played the game of rugby, ex-Wales Lions, and without a doubt the most famous golf buggy driver on earth, superstar Mr. Andy Powell. Andy, firstly, welcome on the show.
Thank you. Hey, last time we seen you, Max, was arm wrestling. Remember, Cardiff?
Yeah, I do, bro. Fuck.
Hey.
Yeah, we need to run it back.
Oh, definitely not again. Hey, my arms are dead for ages, I'll tell you. Biggest arms I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, good times. Great times. Yeah,
good times.
That was good fun. Very loose. Oh.
What do you make of Wales's chances against New Zealand this weekend?
Well, maybe we've got a lot of injuries, and it's we're going to give a chance to a lot of youngsters, and it's going to be a tough game, especially against the All Blacks. We haven't beaten them for 1953, I think was the last time. But I think it's going to be a tough game. I want Wales to win, but I think we have to be realistic. And you look what New Zealand did to America the other day. I think they're going to put 40 points in us, maybe 50, and I know I hate to say that, but then you know what Wales can do. They can always make it a tough game for New Zealand, but I can't see that happening.
They look bloody good at the moment, don't they? I'm telling you, watching that USA game, they're getting hammered. It's 59-0 at halftime, and hold on, and that poor USA bloke when he scored that try, celebrating as if he had won the game.
Oh my God!
Yeah, I know.
Stop! Don't do it anymore. And then what is it, like 97-14 or something? And you're like, right, keep it under 100, boys. We'll be all right. Keep it under 100. And then 81st minute, they run the length and fucking knock it over 100 points. Like, oh, that's out of order. Sad from them. Very sad.
That meme of the guy laughing though. Do you see that guy smiling at the hacker at the beginning and then net minute? Just see the 100 score. You see that American geezer's like chipper as hell, just laughing at the hacker. Oh God!
They're just ruthless, aren't they? They're ruthless, and they're the best team in the world. But I think Wales are in for a bit of a hard time, which is not good, really.
On top of all of that, Andy, see Wales, couple of injury problems. You got the likes of Rhys Sammet, Dan Biggar unavailable with the out of window test. Where do you stand on that rule, not being able to play for your country with clubs taking priority?
Mate, I don't really get too involved in it. It's politics, and I'm not really good at politics. I never have been. I'm just a straight talking person, honest, and it's gutting for Wales, but then it gives chances for other people to go and put their 2 hands up and take that shirt. And it's nice to see Priestland back. I think that guy's been shat on a bit in the past, and it's great to have him back. And I just hope he gets a nod.
Your old club, Leicester, have been doing incredibly well. You rate Borthwick very highly. A little birdie also told us you have a theory Eddie Jones got rid of him because he was worried that Steve would take his job. Can you explain to us why you think that?
Well, I just think it is, mate. I think it was the right timing for Borthwick to go. I think there was a little bit of thing going on in the English camp, hearing off a few of the English boys, and it was a massive opportunity. He's taken it and he's turned things right around, and he's getting Leicester back to where they used to be. Tough, explosive, get feared of playing at Welford Road, and yeah, they deserve to be where they're at. Hard work pays off.
Delving into your back row fountain of knowledge, the England team, from your perspective, sad to say, arguably has one of the best back row options in world rugby to choose from right now. Who would be your starters for them?
Honestly, I'd go for Dombrant, Simmons, and Curry.
Yeah.
You don't like Underhill?
Oh, mate, I love Underhill. I love him. I think he's great, and he could be in there, and he'd probably give the same job as everybody else. But that's who I fancy. Underhill could go in. It wouldn't bother me if Underhill went in there. He's a great player, and it's great to have strength and depth in there.
Yeah, lovely.
He's a machine, isn't he?
Yeah, he's tasty, pal. You'd enjoy him in the weight room, big fella. Very good form. Very strong. Unbelievable. Mate, I've never seen anything like it. Like weighted chins. Mate, he's strapping like 90 kilos onto his waist and he's just pulling himself up over the bar. It's nutty, man. Like heinous strength.
He's
a powerful man.
Yeah, he is Azog the Defiler. You know the white orc, when he shaves his head, he looks exactly like that orc from The Hobbit. You know the white one with the shaved head? He's like, man flesh. Mate, straight up.
Oh, mate, we're in for it, me and you, Mark. These boys are just going to talk weights all the time. I'll tell you.
No.
Have you noticed that Powell didn't even flinch when he looked in your background and saw a squat rack with the full setup? He's like, standard. Yeah, that's normal.
First guest not to mention the squat rack. First guest not to mention it.
Mate, you want to see my body at the minute, I tell you. I was lying on the sofa the other day and my eldest goes, Dad, you got guts like custard. I said, what do you mean? He goes, the old bobble. I said, oh, mate, I have to wear a T-shirt in the house now. It's that bad. But I started back in the gym now for the last 3 weeks, and I'm sort of getting back into shape. Another 8 weeks, I'll be all right.
Yeah, you're in better nick than me, I bet, mate.
You're looking a lot better than me, trust me, pal.
And a legend on and off the field, like your rugby, you've been training on the social side for years as well. Did you and your father not have quite a good pub routine where you used to help to bring him back every night?
Yeah, we used to. There was a little pub down the road called the Old Ford, about 1.5 miles away, and he'd drive down on the Toyota Hilux, and he'd probably have 7 or 8 pints of beer. And I was probably from the age of between 11 and 13, and driving back up then. And I do that most nights. That was a norm back then. You know, you're jumping in the truck driving 11-year-old. Yeah. It was great. You know, it's something I always remember. That's why I'm such a good driver.
When you roll him in the back of the Hilux, though? I bet he wasn't in the cab.
The old man's a good swigger, trust me. He's a good 20-pint man.
Whilst you mentioned your incredible driving skills, a story which has obviously become legendary in all circles of the rugby world, yet to be fully fleshed out, the incredible events behind Golf Buggy Gate. Could you clear up once and for all the story from that fateful night? So
we were playing Scotland 2010 in the Millennium Stadium. Scotland were giving us a bit of a dicking at the time, 26-13, with 2 minutes to go, and we hadn't played well all game. And probably the second best person in Wales, Shane Williams, after Alan Wynne-Jones scored that incredible try. And the whole town just went loose. We went loose, and we went back to the Hilton Hotel where we all celebrate with all the players. And you can imagine all the Scottish players weren't drinking. So me and Mike Phillips got on the table, said, come on, lads, cheer up. Let's get the white wine done. Us doing the drinking games, buzz, multiples of 3, everything like that. So we got them steaming, which was great. So we went into Cardiff to about 3 o'clock in the morning. And then it was time to go back to the hotel where Gatlin was still in the hotel bar with all the management. So we decided to carry on drinking with them. So I went for a fag, realized I'd run out of fags. And my mate goes, oh, we'll take the car down. I said, there's no way we're taking the car. We'll end up getting done. So I said, let's take the golf car. So couldn't get the keys to start it. So I'd gone back to the room. And the night before, I was sharing a room with James Hook. And the light bulb went in the hotel room. So I remember I left a flathead screwdriver in the room. So I got the flathead screwdriver, took it back, started the golf cart with the screwdriver, and off we went, 45 minutes on our little journey. But as we got onto the M4, all the lights were off. So we got our iPhones out and we put them in front of us, drinking a bottle of red wine at the same time, going down the M4. So we come to junction 32 and it started to splutter. So I'm thinking, we've run out of fuel now. And I'm thinking, oh my God, how are we going to get back? So we managed to get outside the petrol pump. My mate's gone in for the fags, and I've decided to lift the seat up, seen this yellow nozzle, undone it, started filling it with fuel. I'm starting to sober up at this point, thinking, what the fuck am I doing? Then I realized, seen on top of this nozzle, it said this vehicle is battery propelled. So I must have been putting fuel into a battery golf cart, which wasn't good. And then my mate's come out, he's jumped in, and a cop car's pulled up beside me. And he's looking over and he's thinking, fuck, I've just seen him play today. And he goes, "And what are you doing?" I said, "Mate, I haven't got a fucking clue." He goes, "Right, take your golf cart, park it up in the bank, jump in the car, and I'll take you back to the Vale." As we're driving back to the Vale, his sergeant must have got on the phone and said, "There's some idiot going down the M4 in a golf cart. You need to get him. He's causing havoc." So I'm thinking, right, that's it. End of my career, end of everything. But he was a sound copper. So as we're going back to the station, I said, "There's one thing I want to do. Any chance you can take us for a McDonald's drive-through?" So this copper now has taken me for this drive-through. I think I had a Big Mac, 9 chicken nuggets. My mate in the back has had the same. And I think the driver had a portion of chicken nuggets. And I put the sauce between my leg. And he was putting his chicken nugget and dipping it between my leg with his chicken nugget. So we've eventually gone back to the station, and he said, "And it's that time of night where I'm going to have to put you in the cell." So put me in the cell, and yeah, that was it until the next day where I had to go back to the Vale, and there was a wedding on, and the groom and bride were having pictures on the front lawn, and the bride left the groom and just come over and had a picture with me, and that, you can imagine it, the next day was the front picture on the Monday, and then Gatlin rings me, which didn't go down the best. He said, "You need a bit of a breakaway, a holiday. Your head must be in a real bad place." He said, "Have you any ideas where you're going to go?" And I said, "Mate, I booked up Amsterdam already. And I'd probably come back from there more sketchy than I went over there."
Oh my God.
But yeah, there was a few bits I left out there, but I'll have to put that for the book.
Yeah, too right. The detail of the ketchup between the legs, I love it, mate.
Mate, I can remember it all.
So good.
Oh, mate. You can't do that anymore, can you?
Oh, no. What a legend, though, that policeman must have been. Like, that's what you need. Like, you know what I mean? A little bit of common sense. Get him a feed before we get him in the cell. He'll be all right.
He was a good guy. He was a good lad.
Andy, let's move on to your debut for Wales in 2008 against South Africa. You were man of the match. What are your memories from that day, and how loose was the initiation and the party afterwards?
Yeah, you can imagine being in my first Welsh squad at 18, 19, and then going missing from that age to 28. Partly was my fault, but I think partly down to shit coaches not understanding who I was and just, just putting me aside, really. And then Warren Gatland come along and give me an opportunity, and, you have to grasp it with two hands, playing the world champions in your backyard, and nothing fazed me. I just went out there like it was just a normal grassroots rugby game. And you had some of the stars, Bakkies Botha, Victor Matfield, Brian Abana, the top guys. And there was a moment in that game, I think it happened in the 14th minute. Bakkies Botha was coming on the support line, knew he weren't going to get the ball, and I just absolutely creamed him. And he's going up in the air, landed on his back, and I said, "Get the fuck up." And it's probably the famous words I regretted. But he said, "I'm going to fucking kill you." And when he says that, I was shitting myself for the rest of the game. And it managed to, I think it was the 78th minute, gone for one of my first jackals ever. And he's come straight over the fucking top of me and wrapped me straight out. And he said, "I told you I'd fucking kill you." I got man of the match. I got my medal by Prince William, put it around my neck, and he's come up to me, grabbed me from behind. He said, "Good game, but don't fuck with me next time." And don't get me wrong, that's how tough he was. But he was a top bloke.
Here, Pally, you mentioned there, like, you've had some shit coaches, and I suppose you put it like, they didn't know you as a person and how they treat you.
Yeah.
Who do you reckon was the best coach you had, and why, and how did they treat you differently? Like, what was it that they got the best out of you for treating you differently?
Di Young was good. He understood what I was about. I was a country boy. I still wanted to be the guy from Brecon, go out with your mates, have a few beers. But the thing is, I was fit as anything at the time. And I can remember when Xavier Rush went out on, I think it was Christmas Day, he made us train, and we had a team run. But we went out Christmas Eve, I did back home, and Rushy did the same in Cardiff. And he came in steaming, I come in steaming. We got on with it. And then the fitness coaches pulled me aside and said, "Oh, you're a disgrace." And I said, "Well, hold on. It's all right for him to do it, not me." I said, "Just because he's a Kiwi guy and he's had so many caps for New Zealand doesn't make him he can do it." I said, I'm fitter than him. And I just made my point out, which everybody should be treated the same. And Gatlin was pretty much like that. You know, if you come in not steaming, but you've had a few pints, you front up. And I used to win all my fitness things. And yeah, just comparisons for different people, really, mate. And I don't like that. You treat everybody the same.
Talking about fitness, though, what about when you turn up the sale with your weightlifting shoes?
Oh, mate, that was a disaster. Oh, it was a disaster. I turned up, big money signing. I said, Dimes, I haven't got my trainers. I got my weightlifting shoes. So I done, was it 3K? I think we did it 3 times that day. And I tell you something, I had horrendous times. I was unfit, but I got back to winning ways and, you know, get back to my fitness. But it didn't look good at the time.
Oh, mate, can you imagine doing fitness, Max, in your weightlifting shoes? I don't even know.
Mate, I never wore them. I never wore them in the gym either. So I don't know what I was doing with weightlifting shoes, just to look good, probably.
Yeah, turn up with them thinking you've nailed it, and then like, fitness today, boys. Oh shit!
I know.
So Andy, you got the highest accolade possible in rugby when you called up to the British and Irish Lions for the tour of South Africa in 2009. When preparing for that tour, Warren Gatland organised a pre-tour bonding trip to the races, whereby a certain Ronan O'Gara managed to get himself in a spot of bother. Can you tell us what happened?
Well, I was sharing a room with Rog, and you know, at the time I had a bit of a gambling problem. So as you put the key in the door, I walked in. I thought, "Oh, Ronan O'Gara, I've heard that he likes to bet." So I was only in the room 15 minutes. I won about 14.5 grand. So I'm thinking, this is a great tour at the start. So this is brilliant. I just go in. And then the phone call goes off Gatlin, right, we're going to go boating tomorrow. And I said, that's the shittest thing you could ever think of. So Rog said it's Sandown races. We all go to Sandown races, all the squad. And we had a good guy there who knows his betting, Rob Howley. He likes a better too. And
too soon. Nah.
And Rog knew this one jockey, and he's gone down to him in the parade ring, and he said, "What are your chances?" He said, "This is a 7-4 favourite for a reason." So I think we've pumped in, you know, probably 16 grand in his horse, and he's come last. So you can imagine Rog, he wasn't happy, and yeah, he done a bit of kicking off in the parade ring, and yeah, lucky enough he didn't all get chucked out, but yeah, that was a team bonding for the Lions.
Your old roommate, Hugo Monnier, spoken about a night out where you may have had one too many caffeine pills and a bit too much booze, and something about a FaceTime session. What happened?
Well, Max will probably know the Vipers. Can you remember the Viper caffeine tablets?
Oh, I never took those.
Yeah, so I think you're only supposed to take 3 at a time. So we were on a lash. I must have taken about 10, 15 tablets. And
oh my
yeah,
God.
I was in the room with Tim Payne, and I said, "Payne, I think I'm dying, mate. I think you'll have to ring my mum and say goodbye." But I got through to my mum, and all she said to me said, "Grow up here and get on with it." But Payne, he put me in a hot shower, and I managed to come around, and I went back down for a few beers, and I'm not going to go into that too deep. I can tell that for the book.
Teasers, mate. That's all we need. All we need is little teasers.
Just little tidbits, yeah.
Everybody else drops me in it, so I'm going to put a few names in it as well, bugger it.
Too right, man.
We'll get it in Max's book club as well as soon as it's out.
Definitely.
Can't wait.
But Hugo did mention that you managed 13 out of 14 nights on the Smash, so good trip, really. Lots of the lads who were on that tour said it was the last proper tour where you could really go out and get loose. What were your other great memories from that tour?
I think just being in South Africa, mate, the people are great. You know, they're very passionate people, and you were allowed to go out with the days off. And if you weren't involved on a Wednesday, you could go and have a few quiet beers on a Wednesday night, quiet, 15, 20. And, you know, if you weren't involved, you still go out and help the boys by carrying the pads. But there was one moment I didn't get selected for the test, broke my hand in the second week. And I had an option of going home, and no, I had my hand injected for the games and strapped up, and you just got on with it, and you had to be there to support the lads. And I think it was the second test. I said I'd go out and carry the pads after a session on the Friday with Shawsey. And I can remember a ball got put up by Rog, and I went to catch it, dropped the pads, and the ball hit me straight in the nose because I was that blind I couldn't see. And I can remember McGeechan coming over to me and said, "Mate, that's enough now. You can just go and watch it from the side." And the cameras were there and it probably didn't look the best. And yeah, but it was a great trip, mate. It was the best stag trip I've ever been on, probably.
December 2009, Andy, you played for the Barbars against New Zealand. You're rooming with Springbok legend Victor Matfield. There was some weirdness. Please elaborate.
You know, it's a Barbars trip is special. I've heard about it off so many people. You turn up and you just get on the smash for 5 days. So, you know, I knew I was going to get on pretty well with this little tour we had in London. So we turned up in the Grosvenor Hotel, and there's a guy called Mickey Steele, Bidja Bodja Badja. He passed away. Bless him. What a good guy. And we're all in this meeting room, and you've got the legends of the game: Gitto, Joe Rokocoko, Bismarck Duplessis, Victor Matfield. Who else is there? Well, there's so many other names. And I got called up, given a brown envelope. So I'm thinking it's going to be 300 to 500 quid in here. So they say meet in the bar at 7 o'clock. So I had about half an hour to get ready. So going back to the hotel room, open the brown envelope, and there's £5,000 in £50 notes. So as a Welshman, you do something daft. I've gone straight into the bath, put £50 notes all over me, bollock naked, without the water in, and sent the selfie to my mum, and sent the selfie to my old man. My old man goes, "You're a fucking clown," and my old girl goes, "You'll never change." And Victor comes in and sees me in the bath with these £50 notes over me, and he goes, "My friend, what the fuck are you doing?" And you can imagine a South African, passionate like him, seeing a Welshman in the bath with £50 notes all over him. Yeah, yeah. And then we go and beat the All Blacks on the Saturday by having 5 days on the piss, which is, it's not bad, is it?
How good. How good.
But,
would you see the Barbars stuff? Would you say that's up there with some of the best touring stuff you've done as well?
Oh, mate, some of the stories on that trip, I tell you something now.
Man. And, oi, pal, is it true? Like, see that brown paper baggie it given, but that's expected, right, boys? Make sure you spend the whole lot during the week. Or were you back pocket? And
I come back. This is gospel truth. I come back with £50 of one red salmon in the back of my jean pocket,
screwed up just for an emergency.
Mate, it was like being in Brecon. You're going down the pubs, having a few beers, putting a few bets on in the pub, and I don't think we trained properly till the Wednesday. And what's his name? Nick Mallet had me doing fitness on a Wednesday. I was the only one doing fitness, and all the boys were laughing at me doing fitness. It was, mate. It's amazing how you get to know people in a short period of time by going and having a few beers. And it's old school, and people say, "Oh, you shouldn't use them," but it is old school's the best.
Yeah,
way.
there's
by mixing it in.
Yeah, a team that drinks together wins together. There's like a primitive intimacy that comes from drinking lots of alcohol. You just get to know someone so like in depth on that level.
Yeah. Too right. It is.
I'm with you.
Like you look at the culture of Exeter and look at the winning sides, Saracens. You know, Bristol probably do it. And you know, most sides do it. Not enough
at the moment. Not enough at the moment. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
More lash.
You'll get back, mate. You'll get back. Trust me.
Yeah.
Andy, didn't you and Victor have a cheeky wrestle on that tour?
Yeah, well, I went home early after the Saturday night, about 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. I was just burnt myself out after having a heavy week. And, you know, I went to bed. They must have followed me up, tackling me up to the bed. And Victor was on top of me, so I managed to slot him. He slotted me back. And then Bismarck Duplessis comes up and drags us back off each other and takes us back down to the bar. And we have a few drinks and we make up. So, you know, that's part of rugby, really, isn't it?
Wait, so why is he slotted you though, just for crap?
No, he's tackled me off the bed because I was sleeping and I didn't like
and you
it.
Just
so I
freaked out.
I just freaked out and lost it. And then we all started laughing. I said, "Come on, let's go and have a beer together." But no, it is what it is, isn't it?
Andy, the following season, you joined Wasps. Everything was going well until a fateful call from Tim Payne threw a spanner in the works when he asked you for some drinks in Shepherd's Bush.
Yeah, there was a story before that. When I joined, we went to Poland on a training camp with Sean Edwards, and we trained hard for the 5 days. We didn't drink for the 5 days, but we were allowed to drink on the last day before we flew home. So we all went down to this little bar, probably a mile down the road, got absolutely sloshed drinking tequila all night. And it was like a little pizza place as we're walking back to the resort where all the athletes were staying. And there was a three-wheeler car, like the Del Boy car. Well, I thought it was just stuck in the ground. So I've gone up and deadlifted it and tipped it down the bank. And one of the boys said, "Do you realise there was somebody sat in that car?" And I said,
No.
don't have me on. Don't have me on. Serious. So I've gone back, and the guy has opened the door, and he's crawling out the door. Well, the door of the car.
Oh my Lord!
We managed to get him out, gone back into the pizza place, sort things out there, and we had a team meeting the next day. And Tony Hanks said, "Which one of you boys, the younger boys, tipped the car over?" So I put my hand up. I said, "It's a senior player. It was me." He goes, "Right, Powell, stay behind." He was laughing after all the boys went. He says, "You'll have to go down and pay the man for the car." I think it cost me about 300 quid, which I didn't mind paying. But, mate, when you see that car rolling down the bank, I'm thinking, "Oh no!" And then the guy is crawling out of the car. I'm thinking, "I'm going to get sacked by it straight away."
Oh, mate.
But the guy took it well.
How many times in your life, in your career, do you reckon you thought, "Oh, mate, I'm getting sacked for this one. This is it. This is the end. This is the final straw."
Wow.
Oh, mate, probably about 10 times in my career. Every club, probably. But I had a good season that year. I think when I do something daft, I play even better.
Yeah, too right.
I don't think I'd be able to survive in this day of the world.
No, it's got 2 PCA. Not allowed to roll people down hills in cars anymore.
Yeah, you can't throw cars down hills.
Well, it's gone mad.
I'd have to go to Australia and New Zealand, but they get away with murder, I tell you.
Yeah, too right.
But what was the story? The Shepherd's Bush story, yeah?
Yeah, the fateful call from Tim Payne. What happened?
We were playing Exeter on a Sunday. Payne's rang me up on a Friday. He wasn't getting picked. His head was in the shed. So he said, "Come and have a beer with me." That's probably the last words he should have said. So I've gone and had a beer with him, had a chat. 16 pints of Kronenberg later, 16 tequilas, 16 Jaeger bombs. We decided to go Shepherd's Bush about 7 o'clock to watch the footy. Cardiff were playing QPR. We were blind drunk. And you know what it's like having a bit of banter with the fans. Somebody chucked a shot glass at me, so I chucked it back. And next, I was on a deck with 25 stitches in the back of my head, getting stretchered out of the club. And I woken up in A&E. Tim Payne's beside me. I said, "What's happened?" With all these sticky patches on my chest. And he'd sort of run me through it. And I can remember ripping all the sticky patches off my chest, put my top back on, and it's 6 o'clock in the morning. And we've gone down this little boozer down the road, like alcoholics go there, and we've decided to carry on drinking in there. And then I get a phone call of Sean Edwards. And he said, "Have you seen the news?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "What happened?" So I told him the story. And then, I got sacked and I got paid out. I think I got paid out about 100 odd grand, which is quite good, then. And then I signed for sale for the biggest contract of my career, 220 grand. I was thinking, brilliant.
It's funny how it all works out, isn't it?
Yeah, I had some good laughs.
Oh my God, that's incredible.
So sorry, the moral of that story, Andy, is what?
Don't drink tequila.
Are there any stories out of these ones that you were like, "I wish I hadn't done that one"? Out of all the stories, if you had one where you were like,
that's the story.
That's the story.
That's the story. Yeah. The golf cart's all right, but that's the story. The Shepherd's Bush, it wasn't good.
It wasn't good.
No, but the thing is, I got attacked, so I'm not too bad. I'm trying to win myself over now.
I can only
justify it. Yeah. I must justify this.
Yeah, exactly.
Turning up the sale then, pre-season, you've got Dimes there, some character, eh? What did you get on with him?
Mate, loved him. Well, a top coach, really hard in you, and he gets you to play really tough rugby, and in a way everybody enjoys.
What about I've heard a story, I don't know how true it is, but
no,
it's not a bad one. At Sale, and apparently some of the young academy boys have been having a fag and you lost the game or something, and Dimes went through them.
In brief.
Yeah, tell us this one.
We only lost narrowly. We had like a young squad, and we had a few old heads in there. Sam Tupo, which is loose as anything, probably worse than me. We lost the brief, and we've gone to this bar after, and all the supporters are there. And these youngsters are like sparking fags up, where I was going around the corner to have a fag, just to pay a bit of respect to the support. And these young boys are smoking like they've had 100 bloody caps for bloody Sale. So we've gone out now to go to this nightclub, and one of the lads is this Peugeot 206, I think, is pulled up on the side of the road, and this guy's having a piss in the hedge. So one of the lads goes to jump in his car, jumps in it, and tears off. And the police end up stopping the car and tear gas about 20 of us. You can imagine it. I can remember Luther Burrell was pissing in his hands, trying to wipe his eyes to get the gas out of his eyes, but it made it worse. And I think the two of the guys got nicked. We've gone into this nightclub with all this tear gas on our clothes, and we've gone in this nightclub, and I'm not going to lie, 350 people have run out this nightclub, but the fumes must have gone stronger, but the heat in it, and everybody's running out, and we just emptied this whole nightclub, and it was bad.
I heard that Dimes the next morning though.
Yeah, I know. It was savage. He made the fire alarm bell go off in the hotel at 5 o'clock in the morning, and he's got everybody up, and he said, right, we're going on a 3K run. And I can remember Tony Buckley was arguing with him, saying, this is ludicrous, this is daft. And I can remember Tony Buckley said to Dimes, we're not going on it, otherwise I'm going to smack you out. And we all had to stop Tony Buckley from chasing Dimes down the road.
He's a big moose, that one. You don't want to run 3K.
So we're doing 3K, and there was this brook as we're running down the road. So all the boys, like, we were knackered. So we're all in this brook drinking water out this brook because we had dehydrated. So we managed to get back to the hotel, and I think
naked and afraid at 5 a.m, just running through the wilderness.
It was like abuse, but you know, we'd done something wrong. We had to man up and do it, didn't we? But there was a better story about Tony Buckley. We were doing a morning session, and if Dimes had this thing, if you go high in the mall, anybody shows their head, you have an alkathene pipe across the back of your head. And Buckley went to put his arms over, and Dimes hit him across the back of the head with a pipe, an alkathene pipe, pipes which you hit cows with. And Dimes got up and chased Dimes around the field. It was the best thing to see ever.
Yeah. I heard that at the end of that, though, after you'd all done that run, everyone was like dying, and Dimes has come out and gone, right, which one are you smart on the fact now? To the Academy boys, and you went, yeah, I'll take one, Dimes. and lit up a durry.
I was puffing away. He didn't know what to say.
Yeah, like ruined it. That's so good. Oh, man. You got to be yourself, though. You got to be yourself. He would have been saying that as well. Be yourself, mate. Be yourself. So you can't go against it.
Dwayne Peel and Mark Crater, when I lit that fag, they were like, "Is he effing real?" Hey, boys, good old days. I wish I could do it all over again.
Unbelievable scenes.
Andy, thank you so much for taking the time to come on. Really, really enjoyed that. That was absolutely brilliant.
Thank you. Fine, lads. Hey. People need to hear him, don't they?
Absolutely, yeah.
It's good to see you, Big Max. Hey, we'll have to have a reunion, definitely. I'll come down to Bristol and watch a game.
Oh, fantastic. I can't wait to see you. I'll roll out the red carpet. We'll get weird and wonderful somewhere.
Hey, no carpet, mate.
Few places to show you.
Yeah, good.
All right, dude. Thanks very much, buddy.
Cheers, pal. All the best,
Cheers,
lads.
pal.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care, boss man.
Andy. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Ahead to next year, you always want to finish strong.
That dance on the right there, you saw him in screen. He's brilliant. I've seen him before. Get him at every game. I don't know. He's holding. He's hitting his veggies, his broccoli.
Let's do it. Yes, yeah, we are delighted to have. You're officially right, the most famous unofficial mascot in world rugby, Seattle Seawolves Brocolli Man. Can you tell us how you came up with the idea for your crazy character?
Yeah, so it's actually not quite a character either. It's kind of like real life, which is funny. People were like, oh, this is someone the other day was like, oh, this is a fun character. I'm like, I'm actually a kindergarten teacher, like an elementary school teacher. So this is an extension of like who I am as a person a little bit. But I started at this game called the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. Which is a football game, for a college football game in Idaho. It's on ESPN and everything, sponsored by potatoes. And so I started going there and dancing with potatoes at those games. And eventually they put me on TV. They put me on ESPN Sports Center. And that was so much fun that I wanted to do it again. So I was talking to my friend. I was like, I want to do the same thing I did at the Potato Bowl, but I want to do something a little different. And he's like, well, that's easy. Just dance with a different vegetable. And so I decided to start dancing with broccoli because it's my favorite vegetable to eat. And because it looks like someone on Twitter once compared them to natural pom-poms.
Pom-poms, exactly.
Yeah.
Makes
So
sense.
they're very vibrant and big. And when people see me dancing with them, they go, that guy's dancing with broccoli, like 100%.
Get his name, gentlemen, get his name. We want to have broccoli with that man there at the next home game.
So, it kind of went from there. I danced at American football games, and I still do. I love American football. Dancing at American football games is another favorite sport of mine. But Carly McKinnon, who's the social media director for the Seawolves, found me on Twitter, saw what I was doing, and said, hey, you need to come to a Seawolves game. I think rugby fans would really like what you do. And sure enough, they do. It's been great.
Look where you are now, the most famous podcast of all time.
There you go.
Talking to us legends about broccoli. Mate, what an incredible... I'll be honest. I thought it had something to do with your curly hair. I thought maybe that's why you were the broccoli man.
You know, there's so many people, and I haven't done it yet, but I've always thought about it. A lot of people have told me I should just dye my hair green and just go for the whole thing. So maybe you'll see that next season. Who knows?
You need that. Jim, you need to look at that block.
That's what you need. Absolutely.
I think there's an upgrade coming for you, brother.
I have not committed to the bit enough, apparently.
Jim, just quickly, talk us through the atmosphere, what it's been like at the games for you.
Yeah, so it's usually a few people will really, right off the bat, most people are pretty weirded out. Not anymore, because everyone knows me for the most part, what I do. But at first, people are like, oh, this is interesting. But you know, as the game gets going, probably I would say like 30 or so minutes into games, when the game is really on its rhythm, that's when people are like, okay, this is actually awesome right now. And the second rugby game I went to, because I've only been to about maybe 7 or 8 live rugby games now. I'm very new to the sport. I love the sport. I love the atmosphere, but I'm very new to it. But the second game I went to, before the game started, Ben Sema, who plays for the Seawolves, came up to me with a rugby ball and thanked me for what I did and said that what I do gives the players out there energy and makes the game more fun, which I hadn't really reflected on before. So there's a bunch of stuff going on with what I do, but it's really cool to hear from players specifically that what I do helps the game out.
Fantastic.
Brilliant. Jim, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciated having you on the pod. So good luck for when the season restarts.
Yeah, I'm honored that y'all found me and wanted to talk to me. It's so cool. Thank you so much.
Cheers, Jim. Legend.
Cheers,
all the
Jim.
best, dude.
You're a legend.
Bye. See you later.
Broccoli Man. What a legend.
As always, a lot of incredible rugby to enjoy this weekend in the Premiership, the URC, and internationally as well. So we'll leave it down to Max to summarise the best of the action in his own unique way.
In this week's wrap-up, I had the pipe and slippers as I embraced some laconic hedonism with my week off bye. However, that didn't stop some tremendous egg-slinging. We journey first to the Franklin's Gardens, where the March of the Saints decimated the Warriors of Worcester. Onwards to Sandy Park, where the exiles finally persevered and slew the ominous beast that is the Chiefs. Whilst at Kingsholm, the baying cries of the shed wheeled on the Cherry and Whites as they downed the Falcons. The Stoop saw Bar falter against the cunning rogues that are the Quins. Tigers continue to walk through opposition after opposition. The Sharks the victims this time. Saracens continue their rabid try-scoring antics. Against the much-diminished men of yellow and black, Malins headlining for some truly obnoxious try-scoring antics. More hat-tricks than a magician. Whilst Ryan and the GUINNESS were unstuck by those fiends from Leinster. In other more positive news, we got to meet the vegetable-munching Seattle Seawolves stalwart, Brocolli Man. What a bloke. Discuss the pretty pennies being made in the great game. And on the international scene, the brave Blossoms ran the high-flying Wallabies close, whilst New Zealand put the 50 states to the sword. The Aunt of Nations promises to be a saliva-inducing prospect. Finally, we were joined by a man who needs no introduction. The man, the myth, the legend that is Andy Powell. Ta-ta.
And that's all the time we've got left. Thanks for watching and listening. As always, do make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you to Ryan, to Max, to the Brocolli Man, and to Andy Powell. And we'll see you all next week.
Peace out.